This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to ILoveBlackPeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are.
And welcome again to another edition of I Love Black People. It's such a pleasure to have an amazing, dynamic, wonderful, hardworking genius of a brother, my brother, your brother, good brother, Tongayi Choto. Welcome to I Love Black People. Thank you for sharing your time.
Great. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Awesome. Let the crowd know, look, I know, I've known you for more than a couple of days, more than a couple of years. Would love for you to introduce yourself so I don't mess it up, and some of the things you're doing right now, which are super amazing, to give them a context of who's doing these amazing things.
Got you. So my name is Tongayi Choto. I'm co-founder and CEO of AfriBlocks. We are a global Pan-African freelancers marketplace, and what we do is we seek, talented designers, marketers, developers, Black and African from across the globe, and connect them with remote opportunities. I'm a first-time founder. I've worked with Sinclair Skinner, building I Love Black People, and Bill Murray, and based here in Harare, Zimbabwe. That's where we've been building from, and it has been an amazing journey. That's me in a nutshell. I guess we'll talk more as we go.
Yeah, and you got your degree in computer science. I mean, I think a lot of the amazing things of technology and the folks that are doing the things that are going to change the world, having the background you have, I think lends a great perspective, connecting to your vision. So what are you doing with AfriBlocks? I know it's doing super amazing. I mean, y'all came from the tech stars, got that early, and now you're expanding and landing in more places. What do you guys have with AfriBlocks? And tell us about some of the things that are coming up that you guys are about to explode it on.
Got you. So with AfriBlocks, we've had an amazing journey. We started just before COVID, like in March, just before the whole world went into shutdown, and we were working super hard to connect African professionals, Black professionals across the world with remote jobs. And when COVID started, that's when the world made the reality that you can actually work from home and get jobs done, particularly in corporates that didn't see that as a possibility. So we applied for Techstars. We managed to get into Techstars, which is one of the top 3 accelerators and investors in the world. And we actually the first Zimbabwean startup to achieve that, and we hope more startups do achieve that. And in fast forward in October last year, that's when we also managed to be funded by Google under Black Founders Fund. In this year, we're still building, and we are about to launch our first proprietary tech platform in July. But before that, this week, this Friday, 6th and 7th May, we have the Freelancers Summit, which is the second annual Freelancer Summit that we do each and every year. And the reason is to, create those conversations around freelancing, around the future of work, around emerging technologies, and bring all these speakers from across the African diaspora. We have speakers from Google, from LinkedIn, Google Africa, Google USA, we have amazing speakers from what you call this, from Squarespace as well, and from IBM, and So all of that, is amazing, and we are looking for everyone to come through and talk about this future of work.
And so the focus of AfriBlock has been the freelance community of the global, African diaspora. I hear you keep saying black, so we're talking about folks based in the United States, born and raised for 400 years, all the way to the brothers and sisters that ain't never left the continent, the Caribbean. I think one of the things that struck my mind with so much freelancing that had been being done in Eastern Europe, and now they're having so much turmoil. Have you seen more interest in folks looking for freelancers, maybe who were, typically dealing with Eastern European freelancers, or is that something different?
Yes, we have seen a shift. Before this, we always, everyone, always went to India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. And right now, what's interesting is, some of those companies in India are actually being hired by guys in the States, and then they hire freelancers in Africa, which is, super interesting. And what we realized is, why not, make our platform be more visible, make corporates know that there are platforms that they can actually use directly to hire freelancers in Africa. And this there's a global talent shortage that's currently happening, and that's going to continue to happen, particularly in the tech space. By 2030, it's projected about 85 million jobs are going to be left unfilled, not because there are no people, but because there are no people who are skilled in those roles. And for us, that gives us an opportunity to say Africa has immense potential, as all these professionals, but they're not enough platforms that cater for African and Black professionals. So we are creating that technology infrastructure that allows anyone in the world who wants to work with Black and African talent to be able to do that in a seamless and very simple way, be able to get the job done, be able to make payments. And this is bigger than us. This is something that we need. People always talk about inclusion, but it just stops at talking and maybe hiring a one or two people. But we are saying that these professionals that are not just African or Black, but are really super talented and amazing in what they do, and skilled and qualified. And we actually have a vetting process. Someone, before they come on the platform, we interview them, we take a look at the work they've done before they become part of the platform. And for those who we say, what, you're not there yet, but here are resources for you to train, here are resources for you to upskill and get to the level that we need to be as Black professionals.
So when you talk about that, I think that sounds pretty interesting. What have you seen as being some of the particular skills that are being highly sought after, and what are some of the things that you see as things that maybe more folks in our global, Black community, African diaspora need to work on?
Yeah, so we have seen roles in data analysis, data scientist, Python, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. And I actually had a request for a developer who does Rust. Someone was looking for a developer that does Rust, Solidity, all those technologies in blockchain, even as simple. I'm a developer, so forgive me. I would say simple, but NFTs, so those are some of the roles that are currently, being well sought out for. But what we realize is, we say, no, let's look for resources to continue to upskill someone who is a WordPress or a PHP developer, to say you can also look into Python, look into R, and be a data analyst, because those are the roles that big tech are looking for. Those are the roles that call them emerging tech roles. So for us, we actually have in September the 5th anniversary of the Black Blockchain Summit, which we are co-hosting with I Love Black People. Thank you. So we have the career fair where we are, inviting all these companies to say we have this talent, we have, universities, HBCUs, we have African universities. I'm calling them HABCUs, which is, historically African Black and colleges and universities, which you can come and actually pitch to, come with your elevator pitch and tell those professionals why they should work with you. I actually saw a Rust developer who had terms. Before you reach out to me, this is what you need to know. This is how much I cost. This is I work 4 days a week. Because that's how much Rust developers and Solidity are in demand. And we are saying, what, we're providing that platform for companies to reach out to these developers, to these professionals, and we're also providing that platform for these professionals to come forward and say, this is the work that I do, can we work together?
Now, I think that's interesting, and definitely, thank you for the bandwidth, and thank you for your incredible help for the first Black Blockchain Summit, as well as the expanding to include a, uh, a blockchain career fair, and first of its kind. So I think these firsts are important, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're covering all bases. You're talking about some highly technical areas,
Mhm.
and in the startup space and tech space, what about those other skills? What about the graphic designers? What
Yeah.
about the folks that are handling more administrative space but
Mhm.
are interested in tech? What are your thoughts on their roles and opportunities?
Yeah, so on AfriBlocks, we actually have, roles that come in from even virtual assistants. You need someone to help you manage your email, you need someone to help you manage your scheduling. You need content writers, you need graphics designers, for social media management. We have all those roles. And what we say, those are the roles that we're starting with, because they now go to those emerging tech roles. For you to be a data analyst, again, anyone can start, but it's actually easier for someone who has developed before, or it's actually easier to break through for someone who has done even a WordPress, because now they understand how coding works. So we're saying, while you do that Squarespace, that Wix, that WordPress, while you do that social media management, here are the resources for you to actually break into these emerging tech roles. We actually have someone doing customer support for customers in the UK. And every day, it's they reply to emails, they reply to social media, comments, inboxes, and things like that, and they do it all virtually from Zimbabwe for a client in London. So all of this, we're actually doing it right now, but because of that, the statistics and the data that we see, that there's going to be a tech talent shortage, and we are in a unique position to be able to fill in and close that gap. So we have a partnership with DataCamp that literally allows you to come on our platform, register, apply, and you get approved, and you are able to take these courses for free, machine learning, data scientist for free, literally right now. So visit our website, afriblocks.com, to take advantage of those resources.
Now, for the folks who may not be coming on as a brand new person to the job market, but people who are like accountants, maybe even an attorney, but they're
Yeah.
looking to use their skill set in more of a tech orientation, much like we were talking about with the career fair for the for the Black Blockchain Summit. You have folks who are already in industries with skill set, but maybe are looking at their a tax account, And we know how the blockchain and crypto is huge issue with, especially in many countries, how is uh, Bitcoin being handled by the government. Do you see opportunities where people can be, like you said, upskilled, even if they're
Mm.
coming from skills already, that at least will allow them to be able to work for a large financial company who's interested in, let's say, blockchain, and are looking for setting up a team. They may not, again, not a team of coders, but people who understand the regulations and maybe understand some of the consequences of taxes. What are your thoughts on that?
Got you. So I think this it's one of the reasons why we created the Freelancers Summit. To bring all these professionals into one room and discuss about these opportunities, because we can talk about blockchain, we can talk about crypto, which is fintech, and the regulations, compliance, anti-money laundering, KYC, and all of those things need someone who knows what they're doing, and it's not a developer. It's definitely going to be someone who actually learned about law in different countries, and what goes on in this state, in that state, and those skills are not going anywhere anytime soon. So we're actually asking you to come forward, join the freelancers community, attend these summits, these conferences, and meet companies that are actually looking, because they're actually looking for these professionals in particular, to say, okay, as you're building our product, what things do we need to build into that product? What information do we need to collect? Even talk about privacy, talk about data protection, talk about even security. So all those roles coming together when you're building that financial technology product. So please do come in, share your skills, create your account, your profile, and be able to connect with these corporates and organizations.
Now, is it free? Talk a little bit more about the conference, because I think I want everybody. It sounds like they got to get there, and how do they get there? Uh, I guess virtually, if they can't come in person. Can you walk us through how much does it, cost, all those things?
Yeah, so it's free. Visit freelancersummit.org to get your early bird free ticket. We are just 4 days away from it, and it's going to be virtual. Streaming live on our YouTube, streaming live on our Facebook. You'll be able to hear those talks from amazing speakers, black speakers across the globe. We have speakers from the UK, speakers from the US, speakers from the continent as well. So it's freelancerssummit.org. Get your free tickets there. And I do advise, just also invite other people that that are in the space, that work remotely, and that want to connect with, other professionals globally. So yeah, that's the freelancersummit.org, 6th and 7th of May. 6th is going to be fully virtual, and 7th of May is going to be in person in Harare, Zimbabwe.
All right, so you got a free conference to the freelance conference. I mean, I think that's free and freelance all together. They can't forget that. And give them the website one more time.
It's freelancerssummit.org. So freelancerssummit.org to get your free tickets to attend the summit, which is our second annual summit. And I remember the first time we started with like 4 speakers, and this year it has grown to about 25. So you do not want to miss this.
All right. And then talk about, you talk about the HBCUs and even the corner of the expression, historically African and Black college and universities.
Mhm.
Well, I think a lot of our audience, they really don't know a lot about the African universities and the different, universities. You attended a African university. I mean,
Yeah.
what can, you share, because as freelancers, or just as students as in general, I think a lot of our audience may not even even know about the different universities. And you hear about folks going to Ukraine to
Yeah.
study in war torn. It makes it seem like maybe they're not universities in Africa already.
Yeah. So I went to Zimbabwe, UZ, University of Zimbabwe. I did computer science and mathematics. Graduated 2015, and straight from there, that's when I went into blockchain development. And it was easy for me because I'd done some mathematics. But something interesting about say Zimbabwe, for example. We have a population of about 16 million, and we have as much as 17 universities um, that Black people are graduating each and every single year from. And when we get into Zambia, Namibia, South Africa, Ghana, the Black African universities that students graduate from each and every year. And we actually have this program where we allow students to register as a student, and for us to uh, teach them about getting into the job marketplace, teach them about they pick, you want a 9 to 5 or you want freelancing. We of course uh, you know recommend them to work free, to be free, be able to work remotely, be able to earn more, be able to be basically be able to control your schedule. And so that's what we recommend. And so that's why we thought, what, let's connect these two, HBCUs and African universities, and just have this one umbrella term, which is historical African Black colleges and universities. And we hope more people join the freelancers community. We're actually reaching out. We're at Africa University 2 weeks ago. Uh, we're going to Chinoy University in about another 2 weeks, and we have we're still working out details with Cape Town University. So we are actually working on the ground to connect and connect and connect. And on the US side, we're working to connect with Howard University. We're working to connect with other HBCUs there. So please reach out if you're listening and you have connections there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, even on the issue of immigration and having our brothers and sisters being subjected to xenophobia, be it the racism in the United States or in Europe, and the
Mhm.
fact that I've had people who say that they're even under the COVID, they were working remote, and one of the biggest things they liked about it is they didn't have to deal with some of the office politics and some of the
Mm.
shenanigans that they would be exposed to at the job. And now that you're talking about economic freedom, where it doesn't matter where you're living,
Yeah.
and the fact that many of our brothers and sisters go to the Ukraine, and this is one of the things I found out when I was in Poland, is oftentimes it's easier with an African passport to get a student visa to these Eastern European countries, study, and then go to a Western European country to get a job. I mean, how do you see your work? I'm about liberation and freedom as much as you are.
Mhm.
How do you see your work creating a situation where our people do not have to be subjected to the xenophobia and racism while they're literally traveling for work in a way that in a system where visas aren't treated equally, where there's
Yeah.
hypocrisy and racism, and even in how people are able to access. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but
Yeah.
I'm saying these words. How do you think your work is addressing things of that nature, where people can actually stay where they are but do things anywhere in the world?
Yeah, so we have I was actually talking to him today, a brother in South Africa. So he's a freelancer on our platform. He does amazing work. He's a website developer. And I was just calling in to check on him, which is something we do as a team. But he's actually Zimbabwean. He lives in South Africa and is doing work there. And he told me something that was disturbing. That he had to change. He changed his surname on Uber so that you could get a cheaper fee in South Africa. I'm like, is that true? Then he showed me his phone, like, this is my other account with my full name, which is, African sounding, and this one is European sounding. And take a look at the fees. This one is a lower fee. And I'm like, you know what, with what we're building, you don't have to go through that. People always tell me that, there already are the platforms out there, but my answer is the same. They do not cater for Black and African professionals at all.
Brother, Tongayyi at AfriBlocks.com.
Yes, correct.
AfriBlocks.com. Look, it's always a pleasure. We got a lot more work to do together. Definitely give a shout out to Roger. Tell Roger I'm looking for him. Tell him I was looking for him on Sirius XM radio. I'm looking for you, Roger. But that being said, I am because we are, and I wouldn't be who I am without you and Brother Roger. That being said, thank you so much, Tongayi.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to ILoveBlackPeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are.